Alright, what's up YouTube friends? So we're going to go right back at this again today. I want to make a point here. So we're all aware that pretty much with everything, with any information that you can hear, see, smell, taste, touch, whatever, any way that you perceive information, there's always two ways of understanding it, right? There is the information that is received by the profane, the masses, the unwashed masses, which is usually physical. How do you say that? So it goes back to men hated the light and loved the darkness because of fear that their deeds would be exposed. So basically, people that aren't necessarily as moral or have as much integrity, they interpret things differently. They always receive the physical meaning to everything, always. They can't understand these spiritual concepts. But on the flip side of that same coin, there is the spiritual meaning. It's always like, everything is like this. There's the profane meaning. When you read a book, you understand it as a physical man with a physical house and a physical whatever. But that same thing can be interpreted spiritually. Why? Because the physical world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Both of them exist together, and the way that we understand the Bible as what's the word? Symbolic. Correlating. Literally, you can do that same thing with life around you. Like, here's an interesting thing that I'm experimenting with, right? Look at a man, and then look at his wife. And his wife, I'm speaking physically here, his physical wife is the perfect representation of his mind. If there is a man who dated a woman who is a floozy, and she is very angry, and she's just genuinely a bad person, that woman is an exact representation of that man's mind. This is held true for surprisingly a long time with a lot of people that I've tried this little social experiment on, and I assume that the conversely, the same is true for a woman. A woman, you look at her husband. Her husband is an exact representation of her mind. It's really, really fascinating. The world around you is just a symbol, and it all just represents spiritual things. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent. Let me get to this video here. So we're going to do the same thing again today. Why? Because I have literally thousands of examples of this that I could use at any point in time without pre-typing anything out or any of that. I can just name a piece of art and then go into it. I've been at this a while, so we're gonna look at some more art. Again, this is music, this is songs. Why? Because they are the most wonderful things ever. You can listen to music that gets you hyped up and ready to do amazing things, and you can listen to music that helps you vent the sorrow in your own soul. Music is just magnificent. So let's get to this. This is going to be 5 songs. Okay, the first one it's called For the Nights, and it is by a group named Avicii, Avicii or something like that. Hold on. We're going to go ahead and see what Avicii means, just because. Come on, DuckDuckGo, you got this. Avicii is a word in Sanskrit, I'm sure that's coincidence, that means waveless, still. Avicii is the lowest level of nirvana. Isn't that fucking amazing? Just off the top of my head, I figured I'd do it. And, you know, we got good results. Alright, now let's get to this. Avicii, the lowest level of nirvana. This is called For the Nights. Okay? Here we go. Once upon a younger year, when all of our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, now I want you to as I read this, ponder, is he talking about his physical, biological father? One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms. I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said, one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, that when I was just a child part is also one of these themes that's inescapable in art. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. When thunder clouds started pouring down, when thunder clouds start pouring down, light a fire they can't put out. Carve your name into those shining stars. He said, go venture far beyond the shores. Don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. Now, does that sound like a physical, biological father we're talking about? I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day, my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid, I heard him say. Alright, and then chorus, 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 chorus. These are the nights that never die, my father told me. Okay, so that was For the Nights by Avicii. Same old themes. Water, childhood. Yeah. Oh, how'd I get there? Okay. I went out of order, but I'm gonna fix it. Okay, so interesting, right? Spiritual meanings there. This is by a really, really cool band. I just absolutely love the dude in this band because when you see him, he's always glowing with this authentic happiness, and his smile is so real that I just like looking at the guy because he just seems so pure. But this is called Viva la Vida. Live long life in Spanish. And the profane meaning to this song is it's about a physical king with a kingdom who guerrilla warfare, mercenaries, war, politicians, the world, this physical world. Okay? So, now, just like in all these songs, we're going to start off the same way, okay? I used to rule the world. Used to. I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone, sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemies' eyes, listened as the crowds would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next, The walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castles stand upon pillars of salt, pillars of sand. Obviously, that's from Scripture. I hear Jerusalem bells a-ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you'd gone, there was never an honest word, and that was when I ruled the world. It was a wicked and wild wind, blew down the door to let me in. Shattered windows and the sounds of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate. Just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever want to be king? So then we go to the chorus again. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. My mirror, my sword, shield, missionaries, foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world. Again, the profane meaning is, this is a literal king with his kingdoms and his warriors and all that shit. He's at the top of the hierarchy in the physical world. And we know the thing about rich man and the camel, eye of the needle. I know St. Peter won't call my name. He's in this world and of this world. Okay, let's go over the spiritual meaning. Rule the world. Used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. I'm sorry. It's about growing up and going from that golden throne that you are born with to the fallen state. Alright. Is this the one? Okay. So this one is a less popular song, but again, it's got that upbeat feel to it. I really like music like that. This is a group called Swedish House Mafia, and the song is called Don't You Worry, Child. I think that's what it's called. So this song goes, there was a time I used to look into my father's eyes, and so again we start off with this same exact message. I used to rule the world. Childhood. There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes. Same thing. Once upon a younger year, when I was just a child, I heard him say, where is it? My father told me when I was just a child. Okay, so let me explain this here. There's another video by the same people, Avicii, and it is called, shit, I don't remember what it's called. So the point of it is there's a woman and there's a child, right? And if you look at it, obviously they're the same person. Anytime that you see a single person with a child in art, they are the same person. It's the higher nature, the child, and the lower nature, the adult. And on they have a tattoo, right? The woman has a triangle pointing down, the lower nature, and the child has a triangle pointing up, the higher nature, right? And so when these two are brought together, when the higher and the lower nature are balanced, you get the six-pointed star of Israel. Or, I mean, if you do that kind of thing, it's the Masonic symbolism. But yeah, it's balance. It's about being in the higher nature and not allowing the lower nature to take over. And so it's a balanced six-pointed star. The Star of David. The star of the friend of God is a balance. Enough. So, there was a time I used to look into my father's eyes in a happy home. I was a king. I had a golden throne. Those days are gone. Now the memories on the wall. I hear the songs from the place where I was born. Now this is not talking about a physical location on a map. This is talking about a mental place where they were born. I think I mentioned this actually. The meditative state that people enter into to find this afflatus mente. They find this creativity and inspiration that comes from the child. The adult is corrupt and wicked and a piece of shit, but the child is creative as can be. And that's the place where I was born. Upon a hill, we're talking about mountains again. Upon a hill, across a blue lake. The water, the sea, the same thing that's been in the other song. Upon a hill, across a blue lake. That's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. My father said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Would it make sense to even imply that there's no spiritual meaning to this? Repeat chorus. There was a time, now listen carefully. There was a time I met a girl of a different kind. This girl, chances are, is something to do with this heartbreak, right? That's where I had my first heartbreak. This girl and this heartbreak were upon a hill across a blue lake. The water's above and the water's below. Okay. Alright, I met a girl of a different kind. Now please tell me what that means. Are we implying here that a girl of a different kind? Never mind, I won't ramble. There was a time I met a girl of a different kind. We ruled the world. I thought I'd never lose her out of sight. This isn't physical eyesight. We were so young. I think of her now and then. I still hear the songs reminding me of a friend. Beautiful. Okay, so those are three nice upbeat songs, okay? All of them spiritual significance. Like I said, there's a clear profane meaning. If you don't want to see the spiritual things, you can see the profane things. But if you look at it and discern it spiritually, there's an entirely different message. Okay. Now we're going to move on to a completely different thing here. This is a Metallica song called The Day That Never Comes. Okay? This is about a man of Jesus being born into this world. Born to push you around. Better just stay down. You pull away. He hits the flesh. You hit the ground. Mouth so full of lies tend to black your eyes. Just keeping them closed. Keep praying. Just keep waiting. Waiting for the one. The day that never comes. When you stand up and feel the warmth, but the sunshine never comes. No, the sunshine never comes. Push you cross that line. Just stay down this time. Hide in yourself, crawl in yourself. You'll have your time. God, I'll make them pay. take it back one day. I'll end this day. I'll splatter color on this gray, waiting for the one, the day that never comes, when you stand up and feel the warmth, but the sunshine never comes. Love is a 4-letter word. It never spoken here. Love is a 4-letter word. Here in this prison. That's saying people try to reduce love down to a 4-letter. It's nothing more than a word. But what love really is the color that's splattered on that gray. I'll suffer this no longer. I'll put an end to this, I swear. This I swear. The sun will shine. This I swear. This I swear. That's a Metallica song. Excuse me. Alright, so I accidentally pushed stop instead of pause. So now I get to put 2 videos together today. Like I said, that was a Metallica song. Metallica. Like, seriously, people don't see this shit. Now we're going to go on to a song by Audio Slave, which is audio, music, slave. Slave to the music. This is called Like a Stone. On a cobweb afternoon, in a room full of emptiness, by a freeway, I confess I was lost in the pages of a book full of death, reading how we'll die alone. And if we're good, we'll lay to rest anywhere we want to go. Chorus. In your house I long to be. Let me put some emphasis on this. In your house I long to be, room by room, patiently. I'll wait for you there, like a stone. I'll wait for you there, alone. And on my deathbed, I will pray to the gods and the angels, like a pagan, to anyone who will take me to heaven. To a place, pay close attention, to a place I recall I was there so long ago. When? When do you think that they were there? When do you think? What is this guy talking about? He was in heaven. He said that. Pray like a to the gods and the angels like a pagan, to anyone who will take me to heaven. To a place I recall I was there so long ago. This man is saying that he was in heaven. When? When was he in heaven? When he had his golden throne? When he was in the arms of God? Do you understand? This is the whole reason I even do this. The sky was bruised, the wine was bled, and there you led me on. And on, okay. The sky was bruised, the wine was bled, and there you led me on. Chorus. The chorus is, in your house I long to be. You led me on into your house. Right. And on I read until the day was gone. And I sat in regret of all the things I've done, for all that I've blessed, and all that I've wronged. In dreams until my death, I will wander on. Can we deny that that is a spiritual, that has spiritual significance? Can we deny that? It talks about heaven, pagans, God's heaven. The kingdom of heaven is like a mansion. It has many rooms. I will pray to the gods and the angels like a pagan. So what we're going to do here, let's compare a single statement from a few of these songs, okay? Which is pretty much any one, it's the 4 songs other than the Metallica song. A place I recall I was there so long ago. Right? He's talking about heaven. And in the song Viva la Vida, I used to rule the world. And Don't You Worry, there was a time I used to look into my father's eyes. In a happy home, I was a king. I had a golden throne. Those days are gone. The memories on the wall. I hear the songs from the place where I was born. That's 3 songs saying the exact same thing here. And then we have For the Nights by Avicii. By the way, the other song with the girl, the child, and the woman, they're one person with the tattoos. That's called, man, I just remembered it and then forgot. Wake Me Up. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was trying to find myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Anyway, For the Nights. Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared. That's so amazing. Once upon a younger year, when they had the golden throne, and they were a king, and they could talk to the Father. Then the animals inside came out to play. That's literally growing up. That's that's Adam and Eve being in the Garden of Eden on the golden throne that is in heaven. Which the Garden of Eden was in heaven. That shouldn't be debatable. So when Adam and Eve left heaven, they didn't physically walk out of a location. They were no longer able to perceive things as the child does. The ego develops. You're no longer that innocent, sweet child. Now you know you did wrong. You got guilt. You got all these things that come with the fallen state of man as part of knowing good and evil. The knowledge of good and evil. So, these 3 songs, I actually used 5, it's 4 songs, plus an additional from the song that I didn't even list here, and many, 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 many more. Many, many more. These 3 songs have the same meaning. All art has the same meaning. There is a time when, don't worry about the world, think about yourself here. There was a time when you were already in heaven, right? You know how there's 3 heavens? There's the first heaven that you're born into. That's where the garden is. That's when you're a child. And then when you leave there, fallen state, there's a second heaven, and that comes with the first death. And then when you press on, the second death will ultimately result in you entering into the third heaven, which I personally believe the third heaven and the first heaven could possibly be one thing, but I don't want to speculate. Because if the inside is the truth and the outside is a reflection of the inside, and heaven is inside, then the outside must also be heaven to some extent. It's basically like a rebirth, reincarnation kind of thing. Dying and coming to life is a common theme, and so there's no reason to believe that another time. Alright. So the Metallica song is a little different. It's not as it's from a different perspective. It's conveying a different message, and so the meaning is a little different. Yet they're also the same, respectively. They have the same point. They are trying to accomplish the same goal. They're just using different means to get to the same end. Like a Stone by Audioslave is about a man who is coming to the truth. The worldly man who is coming to the truth. While The Day That Never Comes is also about the worldly man, yet he is in a prison due to this world. It's that thing. Due to the evil and the nature of fallen man running rampant. He is a good moral man in a world that is corrupt and evil, and it's like a prison. And because Jesus is an internal thing, the inner man, the world rejects him. And so love will never be what the world wants, essentially. He is something that the world rejects. But let's press on. In the physical sense, the profane meaning, even Viva la Vida is about a Nephilim type. He's great in social stature. He's a giant. When a poor person is compared to this great societal figure, he's like a grasshopper compared to this guy. But yeah, all artwork is like this. All art exists. The entire point of it is to worship and honor and praise God. All of it, period. You see, because art is the expression of the soul, and the soul is the extension of God. And if an extension of something expresses itself as it truly is, authentically, then of course it's gonna, you get it? It's just the nature of art itself. What art is must, by its very existence, worship God. It has to. And that's why when you hear songs like I Got Broads in Atlanta and Percocet, Molly Percocet, that's not fucking art. That's not art. There's no creative expression there. And the sad thing is that as time has gone along, I was born in 1990, but as time has gone along, people have only become more and more spiritually and creatively null. They have no creativity. Why? Because the creativity comes from that child on the golden throne. This world tries to kill him. You can't be a child. You can't be free. You can't have a free spirit. You have to adopt the spirit of this world. But it's the child that is the creative one. It's the child that inspires the adult. And so, when your time comes at the end of your days, you will long for the days of the Son of Man. I hope that puts that in context. So, it's just the nature of art. The source of art is my favorite thing to discuss, and this was about to be the name of my channel here. And I literally have a video that's just called Afflatus Mente. Afflatus is divine inspiration. Mente, mental, mind. Divine inspiration in the mind. So, we're pretty much done here, just finishing notes. These are 5 songs separated. It was 6 kinda, but 5 songs separated by genre, creator, orator, time, place, and basically every difference that there could be between these songs, it's there, down to the note that they're played in. Viva la Vida, C major, whatever. Yet all of them have a message, right? And if you look at this physical, profane message, it isn't clear. It isn't clear exactly what the message is. It's sort of mysterious, right? That's when you look at it in a physical sense. But we know that to those who are without, to those that are within the world, and to those who are in the physical, everything is a mystery they can't seem to solve. But to those who are within, those who are in the spirit and the internal, all these things are clear. We look at the message with spiritual eyes. We see the message is clear. We should always try to see this spiritual message, and not just in music. Also in books, and all of it, art, everything. If everything is the expression of the spirit, then everything needs to be understood spiritually first. Spirit is primary. Spirit would be fine without the physical. However, The physical is nothing without the spiritual. The spirit is the root, the cause, and we only see the effects as physical. The spiritual is first. The true reality. The actuality is what I call it. The physical world is only a reflection, inverted, like looking in a mirror. Everything in the physical world is a consequence of something in the spiritual world. There is movement in the spiritual, ripples out into the physical. Chasing this physical world to solve the world's problems, rabbit holes, mystery schools, truth community, chasing those strange occurrences like the towers and the CV and all this shit, chasing that down will never get you anywhere. It will never solve a single problem. Choose a rabbit hole, okay? The towers, the Twin Tower thing. You're looking at an effect, and you're following that effect through other effects to find a cause. In a world that only has effects, you'll never find the cause, because the cause is spiritual. The effect was physical. And that is another thing that art tries to convey. Art is spiritual first. When you hear something that's like the music they have these days, that is not art. Art is an authentic expression of the human spirit, the soul pouring itself out through the flesh, expression of things that are essentially mental. So, I hope that covers some things. I hope somebody learned something from this. I would love to go into how this is literally evidence that you are unstoppable. Anything that you want to do, you can do, but you can't doubt yourself. Don't forget that. I love you all.